That's what you do. You buy these clothes that cost money and make a difference in it. But we never do that.
Never complains, gets up, gets on, with a smile on his face.
We just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, same old, same old, every single day, without the truth. If you haven't seen it before, please watch the first two episodes, the second series. Stallone.
We are on the site of the castle.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
Good evening, everyone. How are you all? It's great, this, isn't it? Listen, does anybody see that thing? I'm being act here. I just got us up there. I'm being act. You're being tracked and act. How about that? Got to resolve it. It's unbelievable. Oh, come on. Wonder what it is. Anyway, God blimey, what's going on? Sorry about this, you wonderful people. To that bit. Love these shows, Frank. Thank you, Dad. I really do mean it, you know. And Tony, the mince pie man. Even a Frankie, even a Tony. No mince pies, eh? Only pints, isn't it? Oh, it's not Christmas, it's gone now. Lee Johnson, great intro. Thank you. I really mean that. Thank you so much. Really mean that, Lee. Guy looking under the clock is back. Six marching down the Anfield Road. Callum, what are you like? Oh dear. Even if Frank says Lee, even in Lee. Looking well there. Thank you. Thank you. And Lynn, even if Frank looking well. Thank you. And Gary the Rigby. Even if Frank, even in Gary. Listen, did anyone see Trump and Zelensky and J.D. Vance less than 20 minutes ago? Trump gave him down the banks. He's trying to argue with the President of the United States and the Vice President, and he's arguing with them. He's just, I'm going to say it now, fucked himself up. That's it. That's it with him. Because Trump said to him, you're coming in here, you're disrespectful in here. And he called Biden for everything. I don't mean Zelensky. I mean Trump. He said he dealt with you. He dealt with you. Excuse me a minute. I'm just looking at some of your things. And Callum says, Frank's looking 21 again. No, I'll tell you what happened. You know, you get up and you get a shower, and that's what I did. I got a shower, as you do, and you know, wash my hair and everything else, as you do. And the next, you know, blew my hair. That's all, I just blew it. And it's just dawn. I put my finger in a light socket and went, bing. Yeah, couldn't get it down. I only got it down the last 20 minutes. I said, I'm not going in like that. It was like, you know, Ken Dodd. It was all over the place. Electrified. You know, if you went like that, oh God, moves. It moved. You know, if you go like that. It's incredible. So that's most probably why I look a little bit different. And Lee Johnson says, yeah, that was shocking. Trump was well out of order, but I hate politics. He wasn't. Zelensky was in the White House at the usual begging. He's got a begging bowl wherever he goes. He's had billions upon billions of dollars, euros, pounds off this government. I'm not just talking about Starmer's government. I'm talking about Rishi Sunak's as well. He's had millions of him. Where's all that money gone? Where is it? Where's all the arms gone? He's had billions worth of arms, tanks, you name it. And then didn't someone find all these arms, you know, well, not saying most of them, but half of them, on the black market? Selling them on the black market. He's as crooked as, I can't think of an analogy, to be honest, or a witch's hat, put it that way. Yeah, witch's hat's always crooked, isn't it? And the Redbird says, Trump won't put up with that puppet. Certainly won't. He certainly won't. What do you think of the likes of the EU and that von der Leyen? Did you hear what they done to the Kalen Georgescu, who went in to be, you know, well, he was soaring away in the lead in their elections, the Romanian elections, soaring away. Well ahead, 68% of the vote here. And what did they do? The EU, von der Leyen, an unelected bureaucrat. What did she do? She cancelled the elections. These unelected bureaucrats in Brussels. I'm not talking about the MEPs. I'm talking about the bureaucrats. They're all unelected. Who gets them in? The globalists. They get them in. This is what everything is over, these globalists. All what's going on today. Anyway, then the other day he was going to put his papers in to run in May for the elections, knowing that he'd win. And the EU knew that he'd win. So what they concocted was to have him arrested. For what? What did they arrest him for? Then they freed him, but give him a 60-day ban on the media, any sort of media, like this media, for example, talking to the likes of you. The media, newspaper media, television media, everything. He's had a ban. It's like, say you, Redbird, or you, Gary Rigby, Perry went over to Romania and said, listen, can we interview you? You know, for our podcast. You'd be arrested. And he'd be arrested again. You can't do it. It's shocking what they're doing. And this comes from Brussels. All because he said he wants to not give money to Ukraine or give them arms or anything. He just wants for the money to go into Romania to help his people. To help his people. And he's been arrested. Where's the democracy? You know, von der Leyen and the European Union are all shouting democracy, democracy. They said it about Zelensky. Democracy, he's fighting for democracy. The same man went into the Russian Orthodox churches, desecrated them, and imprisoned the priests. He went into the media that opposed them and imprisoned them. So what kind of democracy is that? What he wants. And the EU is saying he's fighting for democracy. Is that his democracy? I don't want his democracy. Do you want his democracy? I don't. I don't want America's under Biden's democracy either. Biden was woeful. He started all this. Him and Boris Johnson, the fella who combs his hair with a balloon. That's what my head was like, you know, Boris Johnson. Callum might think, oh, it's Boris Johnson. But honestly, do you want that kind of... You've only got to look in this country. You can go to jail for speaking out. Think about that. In this country. I remember in the 80s, I was asked by some union fellas. He said, you know, will you walk with us? I said, yeah, walk with you. So I did. And I walked down, walked around the city centre. Cut you out and all that. And the point is, nothing happened. Police were on the boat side, but, you know, not many police. They just, like, walking with us. And he was, I always remember the miners, during the miners' strike, you know, collecting money. People were throwing in Liverpool. Can't do that today. You can't do that today. In this country, the freedom of the country, and you've got a Labour government in. A Labour government. And if you think about this, the Democrats in America, they were all for, like, the working classes. But they have changed so much that they've left the working classes behind. And the middle classes, to be honest. It just shows you, doesn't it? It just shows you. Let's see what you're saying. As you said, Redbird, he won't put up with that puppet. And he is a puppet. Do you know, if I would have been Trump, I would have said to him, I would have said, no, shut up. Listen to me, what I'm going to tell you now. What I'm going to tell you. Shut up. If you interrupt, I'm throwing you out. Here's the question to you. When you had an agreement, a document to stop the war in March 2022 in Istanbul, why didn't you sign it? And you would have saved 1.3 million Ukrainian lives that have been lost. Because I don't know whether you've heard that. You know, it's estimated now that they've lost 1.3 million. That's what I would have said to him. You answer why you didn't sign that. I was amazed him answer it. He would have come out and said, oh, well, it was Russian, you know, it was Russian or whatever. Made a stupid excuse. But you know what I think? I'm being honest, see him sitting there. He's terrified. He's terrified of the people around him. Have you seen that big fella, Yermak, whatever his name is? You've seen him? He's behind him all the time. What do you think he is? What do you think he is? This is why, you know, you've got the Banderites, haven't you? We all know who the Banderites are. We all know what the Azovs are. And he must be one of them, eh? And he's terrified of these Banderites. And they're telling him where to go. They're saying, you get over there and you talk. He's terrified. He won't have elections because he's thrown out. He's thrown out. People are hating him for conscripting young kids, for dragging them off the streets. And even Trump said that, or was it J.D. Vance? Dragging them off the streets. Did you hear what he called Vance instead of Mr. Vice President? He's got no class, this man. He's got no diplomacy whatsoever. He said, JD, he calls him JD. You don't say that. And he's in the Oval Office. The Oval Office, he said. Let's see what is this. Lee Johnson. I'm 46 on Wednesday. I have more grey hair on my eyebrows than on the top of my head. You're only a young man. Like Einstein. What do you mean, like have I gone on, Gary? Like Einstein. Einstein. I was only talking about him to someone today about Einstein. You know, there's a photograph up about, you know, where he's meeting Edison. Now, I don't know whether you're aware of this, but Edison wanted to give free electricity to the world. He wanted to give it to the world. That's why he did what he did with those big towers, giving free electricity to the world. And Edison, along with J.P. Morgan, you know, the big banker, and other bankers, they went like that. No, you're not. No, you're not. And they got everything. Everything. We're going to make money. Nothing, no freebies for anyone. Nothing. And he died penniless. Penniless. He died penniless in a New York apartment, a little bedsit type thing. Nikola Tesla. You know, he's one of my heroes of all time. Tesla, and he died penniless. A great man. And Edison, you know, you've got to know about these people. You've got to know about them before, you know, you go, oh, great hero of mine, or great heroine, you know. You've got to know some background to them. So Edison's not a great hero of mine. J.P. Morgan, any bankers, to be honest. Any bankers. It's the way it is. It's the way I am. A march down Anfield Road, Callum. Nuke warfare That's what he said to him. He said, do you want to start World War III? That's where this is going. He was brilliant, Trump, the way he was, Adam. Brilliant. As I said, he's fucked himself up. Good style. Because do you think that they're going... Zelensky sold his country off. He sold his country off. BlackRock are there now. And they're bloody well in this country as well, BlackRock, by the way. Don't know whether you're aware of that. They're buying up. They own us. And Lee says, oh, right, sorry, I've not seen the video properly. And the red bear, great lighting, Frank. You look 10 years young. Could never get the lighting ready, you know. And I did a freaky thing. Because it was on me. And I had a big mad head, you know. But anyway. But, yeah, it's... I had to fix like the light because I've got that, you know, that big round light, you know, for all this. And I just turned it against the wall. I was moving something. Remember when I was looking for something the other night? Well, I had to go around there, you know, around the back of this, what you're looking at now. And I just moved it, but it was facing the wall and I forgot to turn it back. So when I came on the other, was it last night or whenever it was, put it on, it was like, and even Jason said, yeah, it's a better lighting. So thank you, Redbeard, for noticing. Callum, he's a cheeky guy. Redbeard, Frank turns 22 this year. And that's it. Frank's got his ace after that. I wish you'd say it. I wish you'd say it, Edward. Wish you did. It's strange though. And Callum says post-Cold Wars with Donald Trump and Zelensky. What do you mean post-Cold Wars? Biden started all this, you know. Biden started all this in Ukraine and Boris Johnson. See, what you're at, I blame Trump in a way because what Vladimir Putin, you know, since 2014 and the Maidan coup d'etat, when it was American-led. It was American-led. Now, there was Poles brought it, there was everyone of that, you know, like the Balkan states. You know, I only seen a few, must have been about 1,000 people going, but, you know, we want you out, as you do, like us, we want that, you know, remember? But all of a sudden, after a week or so, there was thousands in Maidan Square. Thousands. And I said to myself, damn, where have these all come from? Where have these all come from? Because you know what I was going to do? I was going to make a DVD about the Russians, the Irish, and the Italians descending into Liverpool to get to America. That's what I was going to do. You know, it was a great ambition of mine. Everything was set up. Maidan thing was done. And in 2015, this fella, are we doing that? Are we going? I said, no, I can't. There's a war going on. He said, what, where? I said, Odessa, because that's where I was going to. I was going to Odessa. I was going to Napoli. I was going to Dublin, back to Liverpool, You know, this is what it was all about. And then over to Ellis Island, where they went, where, you know, a lot stayed here, as you know. But that's where they went, to New York, Ellis Island. I was going to visit Little Italy. I was going to visit the Irish Quarter. I was going to visit where all the tailors are, the Jewish Quarter. And some of the most fantastic people that you have heard of in history who came into Liverpool to get over there. Shall I give you one name? I forget his real name, but you do know who he is. I'll tell you. Butch Cassidy. Remember Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid? He was here to go to America, which he did. The Redbird. There was Zelensky that was out of order, not Trump. People putting out untruths is wrong. Exactly. You've got to watch it. Watch it. Zelensky wouldn't shut up. Zelensky was trying to tell them. Zelensky wasn't listening to the truth. He was trying to put other things into Trump and J.D. Vance's head, which were lies, because they know now. They know what happened and what was happening. That's why Trump, I don't know whether it was Trump or J.D. Vance who said, you're dragging people off the streets to go to the front line. That's what you're doing. You've got no men. They're all dead. Shocking. And the Red Bear says, Callum, is that the famous copite? Yeah, it is him, you know. It is him. I'm going down a bit, boys. And IBR. Even a Franco, hardcore followers. Yes, it is all hardcore. The Anfield Rose with us. Good evening, Frankie. Good evening, Anfield. Howdy, Raw. It's gone all American. The Red Bird's gone all American. Howdy. Howdy, Raw. It's incredible what's gone. I was absolutely delighted with that. That's the end of Zelensky. That's it. He's finished. He's gone in. Can I ask you a question, people? You know how corrupt he is? Excuse me a minute. You know how corrupt he is, right? What do you think should happen to him? Really? What do you think should happen to Zelensky? Did you know that, you don't see it on the Western media, do you know that there's been protests over in Kiev about him? Ordinary people wanting their sons' bodies back. Did you know that? But it's all kept under wraps, and the Western media are hopeless. Not hopeless. They're told what to say and do. And I got the shock of my life, man. You know, I was listening last night after the pod, and all of a sudden I was told that there's an estimated 1.2 or 3 million Ukrainians dead, killed in this war. Besides the wounded, there's 100,000 Russians dead. 100,000. Don't forget, it's a war of attrition. Everything's planned. And the Anfield said, well, I was just watching the dressing down. Zelensky got it. Was real popcorn viewing. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. And I went, and IBR says watching Keir Starlin with Trump was like watching a poodle wetting itself next to a ferret. Yeah, the timber. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. The way Trump was saying, "Oh, you've got these have always looked after yourself. You'll be all right looking after yourself." What he was saying is, if you go into Ukraine, you're a target for the Russian missiles, and he doesn't get it, does he, Starmer? He just does not get it. Why does he want? Well, he's a globalist, isn't he? He's been proved. It's been proved. He's with the WEF, the World Economic Forum. And the Anfield says, Zelensky going around, cap in hand, rhetoric has finally worn thin. He has played the bleeding heart story far too long. Yes, said that loads of times. Not on here, though. The fact is, it's time to end it. It's been prolonged and we've all suffered. But who's been prolonging it? It was the Biden administration that was prolonging it, giving them arms, and telling the EU, give them arms, give them arms, give them arms. That's what it was. And they're still doing it now. Do you know that they're making a lot of money? Because it's still a washing machine. Wherever that much money goes, this von der Leyen got this thing of getting 50 billion euros together for a slush fund. What for? Where will that be going? Where will that be going? 750 billion euros. Do you know what? I was an avid Remainer. And since this SMO, boy, am I glad that we're out of Europe. Well, we're not. We're still in it. We're a soft lad, aren't we? Even the Redbird says, yes. Gary, when you were on about your hair all sticking up, you said Ken Dodd. So I said, I'm old. Sorry. Actually, it looks like Einstein, you know. I think he's as good as Einstein, our kid. He's not that clever. And he doesn't speak to me. The Redbirds. I think Zelensky forgot it was Trump, not Biden, he was chatting to. Do you know what? He must have thought that Trump was as stupid as Biden, or as gullible as Biden. But, you know, I don't think that Biden was gullible. He just wanted to have that war because he thought that he could crush Russia and let all the oligarchs into Russia. He thought that, crush them, get rid of Putin, all the oligarchs to take all the resources of Russian resources. That's what he thought. And it backfired. Don't they realise about Russian history? Haven't they picked up a book and gone like that? Oh, haven't they done that? Amazing. IBR. I just watched a short clip about the airships being deliberately sabotaged to stop them providing a cheaper and more affordable means of air travel, and big oil and the bankers didn't want that. Of course, they were all sabotaged because they were air balloons and they just ran on a propeller, believe it or not. It's like the balloons today. Go to Turkey, you can jump in a balloon and just take wonderful flights around. I wouldn't go in one, like, to be honest. But that's what it's about. It's about ballooning. But when you have an engine, take it anywhere. So you're right there. That's a good shout there. Oh, there's my old mates. Yeah. I felt admiration for Zelensky, also sorry for him too. Trump showed no political know-how, and Vance was all right. You've got us all wrong, Jeff. You're on the wrong channel, mate. Sorry. On the wrong channel. You felt admiration. Why? Why did you? Jeff, if you're still there, just please tell me why you felt admiration for Zelensky. He's lost 1.2 or 3 million Ukrainians when he could have signed a peace deal and kept all his fucking country, by the way. Did you know that, Jeff? Or do you read the fucking Daily Express and the Daily Mail and listen to the BBC with all the fucking lies and propaganda? Sorry, Jeff, you're way out of fucking line there. Agreeing with him. I'm feeling sorry for him. And look, lots of Nazis in Ukraine. Did you know that, Jeff? Fucking Nazis. You're not one. You're one of us. But did you know about the Azovs? Fucking show you. Fucking show you. I hope you're there, Jeff. Hope you're fucking there. I took a picture of the watch, you know. I hope you can see it better. There it is. There's the watch, look. In its box. See it? That's what you'll be winning. Anyway. That's by the by. Just let me get this, people. Please, just let me get it. Please let me get it. Okay, there we go. There we go. See the Nazi things there, Jeff? See? See the Nazi flags, Jeff? Oh, no, you can't fucking see it. They're the Nazi symbols on them flags there, Jeff. Sorry you can't see them. They're all what you call Banderites. They're all Nazis. And they celebrate his birthday every year under a big statue of him. And you feel sorry for him. Very disappointed in you, Jeff. And these fellow Liverpool supporters will give you the history lesson. The IVR. Redbird, that's a good point about Franco's lighting. As his hair is glowing like a young Jeslam. can't believe it. Fucking hell, I can't believe what Jeff said. Jeff's a lovely fella, you know. IBR, I reckon he was Des Lynam's. Stop it. Yeah, there's David. David says, we're doing a thing, you know, what's going out on YouTube. Actually, me and David. What happened prior to the Trump-Zelensky press conference, we don't know. How about they had a sort of understanding, but Zelensky decided to showboat? Good point. If you watch the playback at the end of the proceedings, Zelensky smiled towards somebody in the press huddle and gave a thumbs up signal. Very strange. Well, it wouldn't to be, you know, to an American press thing. I'm telling you now, he's surrounded by, as you know, David, Azovs. They must have winked at him and gone, well, that's great, then he's gone. Saving his life for another 24 hours. And IBR says Zelensky is a small hat and part of a Sabbatean cult. Of course he is. Of course he is, IBR. Who's going to watch the Amazon documentary about our club? Daryl has. He texted me today. He texted me today and no. Yeah, Jeff's with us. Frank, all I saw was a very poor attempt by the most powerful man on it, bullying a man asking for help. Jeff, you fell for it. It was a disgrace to see this with the world's press sat around and the most unprofessional meeting I have ever witnessed. Jeff, he wasn't diplomatic. Zelensky wasn't at all diplomatic. He was butting in all the time. He wanted his way. He even called J.D. Vance the president, vice president of the United States, J.D. He's not diplomatic. See, he never got the adulation he got under the Biden thing when he went to the Congress and everyone was waving to him and all, and he was like that and signing fucking flags or bringing a signed flag over of soldiers that are most probably dead now. No, he deserved it. He deserved to be knocked down to what he is or nothing. He's been demanding everything of everybody. He's been playing the bleeding God all the time. He's caused the lives of his fucking nation, for God's sake, Jeff. Not the Russians. It's him. He did it. IBR says, is it possible that Stalin hates this country so much that he wants us turned into a nuclear ash? Well, that's what Trump said to, he said, do you want to start the Third World? Do you want to start Third World War? Jeff, if you're still there, Zelensky was warned about NATO. Even Biden said, you're not going into NATO. NATO's not going into Ukraine. Even Biden said that. But he demands to go in. Why do you think they're at war? It's because of it. It's because of it. Would you like, If you were a Russian, would you like all nuclear and biolabs and everything else on your doorstep? Look what happened to the Cuban Missile Crisis in '62. And Khrushchev and JFK went, okay, yeah, fair enough. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. And he could have stopped the war. He could have stopped the war. He only had to sign until Boris Johnson went over under the demands or orders, if you like, of Joe Biden. Tell him not to sign it. And he didn't. Don't have sympathy for him. Look at the people being dragged off the streets, kids. I watched a film on it. Was it Rumble or Telegraph, whatever it was. And you see CCTV, clear as daylight, in Kiev. And you just see this fella walking down, the tall lad with his mother. And they're walking down the street, and all of a sudden this van pulls up, grabs hold of them. Well, doesn't grab hold of the lady, and drags the lads, and she's screaming. And he throw him into this van and they're away. She was going out, it was his birthday, and she was going out to buy him a pair of trainers. Most probably he's dead now, getting sent to the front line. You see it all, you see it on the streets, people being dragged into cars, into everything, vans, and being sent to the front line. Did you know that Zelensky, who locked up his opposition journalists, put them in jail, and then conscripted them into the army and sent them straight to the front line? Did you know that yet? Him. I'm afraid Biden gave Ukraine 350 billion with no loan in place. Jesus, what a stupid person. Trump made me laugh when he called Biden a stupid president. He said he's the worst president in history. And Jeff, yes, you told me, Frank, but I've heard this from no one else in politics, and all of Europe has contributed. Jeff, stop fucking watching the BBC and ITV, please. Get onto the alternative news. Get onto George fucking Galway of a Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. Get onto a thing called the Duran, Duran. Yeah, honestly. Get onto Judging Freedom with Judge Napolitano. They're the things that you find. And you find out the truth. Honestly. You'll find out the truth. Just another message there. Just saying, what's your show? And I agree with you there, Frank. I can see what you're showing me, Frank. Just look at the lads on here, Jeff. They've seen it. They've seen it, the alternative, honestly. They know about Zelensky. They know about him. He's look, it's really annoying. Zelensky has got fucking houses all up, not houses, no, but we fucking buy, but mansions all over the place. All over the place. He won't be able to go to, he's got a big £35 million, whatever it is, in Florida. Won't be able to go there. He's got homes in Paris. How much is a home there? Big one. I was friends with a Parisian Gilles Lafaux here when I was a lot younger. And you should have seen his apartment or his parents. Absolutely amazing. Gilles Lafaux, he had me and a couple of others, because we used to meet up, went in. He was a heir to billions. And it's things like that Zelensky's buying. Did you know that his wife has just bought in the last few weeks a 4.2 million car? Did you know that? Where's she getting the money from? Did you know what he was before? He was a fucking comedian and an actor. That's why Biden got him in. We'll give him all this and that. He's reading from scripts. But now the Azovs are behind him, and he's terrified of them. He's terrified. They're telling him what to do. You're right. I'm feeling careful, Frankie. You don't want to get banned, please, lad. Be careful. You know what these channels are like, yes. But it's got to be said, Anfield. It has. The truth has to be out there. It's no use me coming on here and, just saying, like Jeff, hard and I feel sorry for the Zelensky, what a man. Great man. And nothing about what he's done to his own country. He sold his country. If I was a Ukrainian citizen or whatever, ex-Ukrainian, expat, and I see what's happening with all these minerals being sold, all the resources, Ukraine has got nothing. Left without nothing. They haven't got any farmland. They won't own it. It's shocking. And if there is farmland, BlackRock's there. Getting the minerals, getting everything out. And what Russia has, because they made that big buffer zone, what Russia has, there's everything there. And to think that Putin wants to take all of Ukraine and everywhere, it doesn't. He said that. And it's a joke when the likes of Ursula von der Leyen and that Sikorsky fella, all of them, and this Rutte, Sikorsky from Poland, by the way, and that Rutte, Mark Rutte, what a prat he is. Saying that, he's going to walk out right through Europe. Are you serious? Thanks for that, Humphrey. Michael J. Lloyd. The comedian showed balls. Well, he knows it's over. Tears of a clown. Trump has the only answer at this point. It's over. And David, even the BBC reported the US supplying weapons to the Azovs. And there it is, there's your thing. The BBC reported the thing to the Azovs, the Nazis. They walk around. I always remember, I forget what it was, and this is like just a few months after the war started. They captured these fellas, the Russians. And they made them stripped, to the waist. Should have seen it. big Nazi, swastika, proper swastikas, by the way. Tattoos. Incredible. Yeah. He's a proper red, The Anfield. That was very true, David Owens. He knew what he was doing. He wanted to get a rise out of the Trump administration. But I think he's just messed himself up enough. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I'd love to see what von der Leyen's gone like that. And Jeff's sitting on the fence here. I'm not siding with anyone here. I just don't believe anything. Don't believe you. Don't be like me. Or the lads here. The Red Bird. Some people can't handle the truth, Frank. And when you tell them, they soon leave. Can't understand why people believe it. Yeah. MSM is truth. It's shocking, It really is. They need to wake up. Not many will, as they are too brainwashed. That's it. Do you know what it's like? Do you ever go back to see your grandparents and they believed that Coronation Street was real, and these soap operas, about communities, they believed it was real. You said nothing like to your granny though. That's what it's like. They believe everything they see. Some people hate Trump that much they'd rather defend puppet Zelensky, even though Zelensky was out of order. It's right. It's right. Absolutely right. Incredible. UK column news are the best independent news in the UK, says IBR. Column news, I've never heard of that. That Double Down news is good. Double Down news. That's good. When it hardly comes out, but it is good. But Jeff's over us. Jeff, I'm not having a go, really, honestly. I'm not having a go. These are all reds on here, by the way. I know, mate, but I don't want you blocked. If that happens, we will be sitting outside your front door every night in our boxies, getting our Frankie fix. It's just nuts. Owen Lee. Evening, Frank. Great show as always. You'll never walk alone. Thank you, Owen. Thank you, mate. That is the idea. Jeff. I'm still watching, Frank. I'm listening. I don't watch the BBC, mate, unless it's Match of the Day. You've sold it to me, Frank. I'm on your side every time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. And Jeff's a friend, Good job we were in the pub. Hey, Jeff, do you know the Zelensky film? What? Cheers, Jeff. Appreciate it. Love to the family. Your lovely family, by the way. The IBR. BlackRock plan to strip Ukraine bare of everything and replace its Christian white population with an Islamic population. It's mad, isn't it? It's just absolutely mad. The Anfield. Look at the women who resigned from the Labour Party today. Dodds resigns over cut in foreign aid, citing reasons of what about the food and assistance not going abroad to those in need and the countries represented? There's no answer to that. No answer to that. The Red Bird. Great idea, or box office at Frank's. Really, reality. Hang on. Really, Frank Raw. Really, Frank Raw. Frank Raw is right. Be careful, or learn to talk in code. Do you know, like during the first, well, just prior to the First World War, you know, with all the lads going to the war, you know, these office workers and whatever, you know, the pitman. Now, Pittman came out and he did this code and he gave it to the fellas so that they could go into meetings, write down, even reporters and whatever, write down, and he couldn't handle it. They just, we can't do this. And when they went to war and they had to hire women going into, you know, like administration and that, they conquered. They conquered the pitmen. Did you know that? It was the women. It was the ladies. So the code, you've got to get a few ladies involved. Ticketmaster will buy up all the tickets for Frank's shows to Frank's type here. And the Redbird said, Jeff, you said you have sympathy for Zelensky. Now you say you don't believe what anyone says. So why have sympathy for someone you don't believe? It's true though, isn't it? You know, Jeff's one of us. Good lad. Really. Redbird to the IBR. As long as we get a doorstep ticket, that's sound. And David says, the guy on GB News, a Labour so-called advisor, started his condemnation, saying Trump has been bankrupt twice. The same Trump had to negotiate his property and business ventures with the companies controlled by both the unions and the mafia. How many times has the Labour Party been bailed out by unions? If you get the biggest nail, and this is on the head, and you've got a spot on it. That bird says IBR. Maybe Franco gives us some VIP tickets. Yeah. You know we will, says the Red. It wouldn't shock me if Mossad have some dodgy videos of Zelensky and was blackmailed into keeping the war going. Mossad want to keep the war going. They want to keep Russia busy. You want to keep him busy. And this is what you get, you see. You get the likes of, you've got to look at the Americans when Netanyahu went over there. ICC put a warrant out for his arrest for genocide, war crimes. Now, let's go back, say like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, let's just say it. 10 years ago. And the ICC put up put out a warrant, say for some African. It was like a general in there, say like Idi Amin at that time, and they put out a warrant for war crimes. What would they do? And he decided to go to America. This general is wanted for war crimes, and he said, what would he do? Right away, stepped off the plane. They'd arrest him and put him up for war crimes. Netanyahu is not touched in America. And he's going to Germany, isn't he, this week? And they said, we're not arresting him. Albeit, Germany is under the umbrella of the ICC. It's shocking. It's shocking. What can you do? So it's those things, isn't it, that really, we can see what's happening. We can see what's happening around the world. And then we sit back and we go, okay then. And what's going on? See, have you noticed since Trump's come in, you know that there was colour revolutions going on, don't you? One in Hungary, one in Georgia, one in Serbia, colour revolution there. And then they tried it, which the EU have, with Georgescu in Romania. But all these little colour revolutions around Georgia and not Romania, Oban's country of Hungary, they've all stopped. Because they're not getting paid with USAID, USA, ID. I call it USAID because of all the corruption with USAID. Sending money everywhere, especially to these NGOs who start up these revolutions. It's shocking. Or it was shocking, but he stopped it all. Especially when the other fellow went in, Elon Musk, stopped it all. Marvelous, isn't it? And this is what you get. This is what you get when you watch the news and you just see nothing going on in the world. And there's loads going on in the world. Loads of it. But unfortunately, you don't hear about it. You just do not hear about it. It's like when all the news came out that the Epstein papers were going to be published, does anyone really believe that those papers would be redacted? Remember you see it redacted, all these black marks and going through, you can't read anything. Remember when you're watching a program about UFOs and they showed you the Air Force's, documents, and they're all redacted. That's what these papers are like. Simply because there's too many high-ranking people. It's all right showing the likes of, what I looked at, with a name like Leonardo DiCaprio. It's all right showing them, but it's people much higher and much deeper than them. It's like the P. Diddy files. Do you think you'll ever get to see who is on that list? You know what I mean? So it's things like that. And it's been going on for years. It's been going on for years. If you really think that things like this haven't been going on, the Victorian times, for example, was the greatest century for paedophilia. Everyone was out. High-ranking people, politicians, royalty, they were all at it. Paedophilia. See what I mean? And that's the way it is. So nothing's new to me. Nothing's new at all. And when you read documents, but now you can see film. That's what I mean about these, that's what I mean about these people who video things. I watch different channels and it's shocking. It's shocking what they're doing in and around the world, but especially in this Ukrainian war. War crimes being committed. I seen one where these soldiers, Russian soldiers, came out, gave up, and they had their hands tied behind the back. Then they had their feet tied, all lying face down, and they got shot in the back of the head. That's a war crime. Not that happened, no. And David Owens, we have the Dunblane Child Massacre Inquiry Papers. We're locked away for 100 years. Yeah, see. You've only got to look at even the Queen Mothers, remember it? They said that her letters are going to be read out and everything. Half of them did, half of them saying, oh hello dears, how are you all? They're the letters that were read out, but not the letters that could damage other people. And I mean damage. Have I got it there? Yeah, we got it. We got it there. Just a minute. Should have just gone up, shit. Right. Now, my point is, it's only what David Owen said about things being locked away for 100 years. So's the Queen Mothers. Now, why have they been locked up? Why is their letters being locked away? What did she say in things? What did she say that was so revealing? And this is what you get all the time. Things locked away. And that's the way it is. It's the way it is with politics. It's the way it is with people trying to find out. Look at Edward Snowden, whistleblower. And the administration went after him. And he was going flitting from one country to another. And he got to Moscow. And he wasn't like, supporting Russia or anything like that, or even Putin. He was just getting away because they were going to put him in jail for 170 years. He would have died in jail. Then you get Julian Assange. Julian Assange was like Edward Snowden. Said, "Yeah, look at this," and put film on. You ever remember that? The gunboat, the helicopter that was flying, and they seen a wedding in this village, and they went and killed them all. Well, the fellas, they came out, and they were just in the street and they were talking, shot them from the helicopter. Things like that. War crimes, didn't like that. What the CIA were up to with the covert operations that they did. Don't forget, it was the covert operation in Kiev that overthrew the legitimate government of Kiev because they wanted regime change there. They didn't like was it Poroshenko? Oh, I always forget this fella's name. And because I'm not saying favourable with either or, with Russia or, the West. He was just trading the people. And they didn't like that. They wanted someone in to be against Putin and Russia. So the CIA went in under the orders of Victoria Nuland. If you don't know who Victoria Nuland is, but if you know what Hillary Clinton was like, she's the same. She's the same person. Warhawk, Russophobe, and the CIA just went in, overthrew the government, the legitimate government, and put in there ones that was favourable to Washington, if you know what I mean. And that's when it all started, the civil war in Ukraine, because people think that it's only in 2022. Been going on since 2014, when the Kiev regiment was bombing, shelling, killing people in a place called the Donbass because they were Russian speaking. They hate the Russians. They hate the people. These are Ukrainians, by the way, just because they spoke Russian. And they didn't want to learn the Ukrainian language. Did you know that Zelensky, his language, first choice language was Russian. He couldn't speak Ukrainian. He had to learn Ukrainian. You know that? Thanks, David, for that. The IBR. Trump is also a Zionist puppet, sadly, and You can look into his personnel in his government, in his government, as they're all under the Israeli club, of course. But he doesn't want to take on Russia. That's one thing he doesn't want to do, because they have a nuclear arsenal and they've got ballistic missiles. Even the Orishnik, which is an incredible weapon, and they've only got to put a nuclear thing in their device and nothing will stop that. And they're developing them more today. Loads of them. Won't take on Russia. He knows the score. The Americans know the score. The Emperor. Prince Charles' letters to Jimmy Savile. Your worries, mate? Yeah. Yeah. What he's asking Jimmy. He was filthy, wasn't he? Things he done. Necrophilia. I couldn't believe that, you know. Do you know, when I said, oh, no, well, I didn't believe that. Running around in a tracksuit. Jimmy the Sap. Jimmy the Pervert. But he had mates, didn't he? I was reading the other day that Gary Glitter's out. Didn't know that. He's turned over a leaf. Oh, yeah. Do you know what I was watching on YouTube? Tell you I was watching. Is This the Way to Amarillo? You know that one? With a cave fella. And it was good, you know, he was miming. And he had like stars following him, you know. And Jimmy Savile was on with this girl. I think she was from Coronation Street. And he was walking behind them, behind Peter Kay. And I went, why didn't he push him out? It's shocking, that. And he said, well, the cigar. I watched a video, says the IBR, analysis of Hamas attacks on the 7th of October. And this AI expert says it's all CGI and AI, as he highlighted the glitches in the images. Look, Egypt warned Netanyahu about a possible imminent attack. Done nothing. But you're right there. I hadn't seen that, but I was told about it. And there was a lady on, a Jewish lady, who was on the beach, actually, I think whether they're kids or, you know, grandkids, whoever. And she said that it was the Israeli soldiers shooting our own. That's what she said. Never seen her after that. And that was taken right away down, put in the bin. That'll never be shown again. News item. I always remember when the SMO first started. I only ever watched, I'm being honest with you, I only ever watched Channel 4 News because they went into depth. And I used to admire and respect, and I've been following him for years, Matt Fry. And I'll never forget, he was right over there. He was on a balcony. And it was night. And he's talking to this Ukrainian. Oh, yeah, it's terrible what the Russians are. And then he turned to this lady who was a former Russian MP. And he started to talk to her. And she said, honestly, and she said, let me explain why. And he just went, no, you won't explain why. And cut the interview right off. And that's when it clicked. I said, this is propaganda. They wouldn't let the lady speak. She was an older lady, elderly, not elderly, but older lady. And they wouldn't let her speak. Matt Fry. And I thought, you never watched them ever since. Phony. You know, these journalists in the media are supposed to like balance it. It's like a referee in a game. A referee is there not to side with anyone and give a fair game to both sides. This fella was prattling on to Matt Fry, you know what about how bad the Russians are. I was just sitting there listening, as you do. And when he turned to that lady, and he stopped the interview because he didn't want me, you, or anybody else to hear what that lady had to say. Shocking. And that's what this media is all about. That's what the media is all about. I was listening just before it came on, the show just here, and I was listening to some American. It's still going on in America, and you know, he's on some fucking news channel, and he said, yeah, Russia, oh, they're in a terrible state, you know, Putin's a worried man, and you know, they've lost. And I went, are these people? Then it went on to this fella and went, he doesn't know what he's talking about. The red bird. Raw, so-called leaders, elites and billionaires are full of pedos, just as the cult of death. Those who are not allowed to talk about it. Yeah. I've got to read this. Bear with me and put me. I always struggle with them glasses because there's me distant ones, there's me reading ones. I can see. Let me just read that again. And he's answering to Rory. So-called leaders, elites and billionaires are full of pedos, just as in the cult of death. Those who are not allowed to talk about. Those who are not allowed to talk about. And the IBR. Charlie Boy was besties with Savile. Liam. Hi Frank, COVID scuppered our title celebrations in 2020. Knowing our luck, Wales War 3 might be the same. Now, I understand that. That's a cracker, that. But I'm being honest with you. The way Trump said it tonight, you want to start World War 3? He more or less said, you're fucking not. Simple as that. And the IBR said, so you're all right, Liam, lads. You'll be celebrating. Promise you that. The IBR, they moved the music right next to where the alleged attacks happened. But the real red flag for me is all the attack helicopters regiments were removed from that part of the border. Yes, you're talking about Israel now, aren't you? And the Gaza Strip. They were. They were. Good shout that, actually, IBR. And David, breaking: Ukrainian MP Alexander Dubinsky just called for an emergency session of Ukraine's parliament to initiate impeachment proceedings against President Zelensky after the Oval Office shouting match. I think that, David, I think, here's what I think. I think he said to Vance, get these pricks on the phone now. In Kia, from God like that, you better get fucking shut of this fella. That's what I think. I really do. And when you look at certain things, David, and the rest of your lads, when you look at certain things that are not going right, you've only got to look at Biden, for example, when he has a debate, them televised debates with Trump, and he was all right for a few minutes and just went like that. Remember that? That's what it's like. The Redbird. Hamas use their own people as human shields. They ain't no angels. Hamas, Mossad, etc. are all terrorists. Yeah. Yeah. But what you've got to look at, Redbird, is the people. The Palestinians. I've seen horrors. I've seen this child, a beautiful little child, and she was dusty, if you know what I mean, dust, and her hair was like dust and, like matted. Beautiful. She must have been about 3, not quite 4. And she was walking down a rubbled street, and she was just, had her hands out, just walking like this. No blood on her or anything. And she must have been naked, this little child. And someone from somewhere put a princess dress on, a frozen princess. That child's dead. That child is dead. Now, I wonder if someone did put the dress on her, or she'd been to a party. She was having a party, and it happened, and blown up. I've seen another one. This little lad, same age as that little girl, tried to wake up. His mother, he was just lying there, dead. Trying to wake her up, as you do. They're the horrors. They're the horrors of war. When you look at the First World War, and you look at the poets, the likes of Wilfred Owen, who said we've lost the cream of our British youth with the war of attrition. And when he wrote Anthem, think of the title, Anthem for Doomed Youth. Anthem for Doomed Youth. It's just like what's happening now in Ukraine with all those kids going to the front line. They're doomed. They're going to die. They're going there to die. And the title, Anthem for Doomed Youth, the first 2 lines are, what passing bells for these who die as cattle. Think about that. What passing bells for these who die as cattle. And that's what war's all about. We're the cattle. We go to fight. No one cares about us. It's only the elite. When you see, I love old films, don't get me wrong, and you see these generals saying, oh, I say, what we did in the war was absolutely wonderful. On the eve of the first Battle of Ypres, that happens on July the 1st, you had a colonel, and you see like a line of soldiers there like that, and coming out, like a square, but without the. And he said to them, get onto this. Oh, he has an adjutant behind him as well on a horse. Both of them are on horses. And he said, up to now, this regiment has not made a name for itself. But tomorrow, you shall make a name for yourself. If you're slightly wounded, make your own way back to base. Do not take up valuable ambulance service space. If you're heavily wounded, make your way to a shell hole and die. That was, believe it or not, a pep talk. Those lads who he was giving the pep talk to, I'll prove it to you. Not now, but I'll prove it to you because I've got it here. All died. 60,000 casualties in the first 2 hours. All those lads who were there died, who he gave the pep talk to. And that's what's going on. And I don't think, you know this, but other people don't. We were that close to World War III, a nuclear war. We were on the precipice of a World War III. No one would have survived. The Redbirds. We are not allowed to talk about the people abusing white kids. No. We know, David and I know something, and we can't even mention it. What's happening here in Liverpool? Liverpool, your city, can't mention it. And that's right there, Redbird. It's shocking about abusers. It's like someone saying, what was it? I forget what it was, but it was like offending people. And someone said, offending who? If you know what I mean. Offending who? Who are we offending? It's tradition. It's tradition. Not tradition any longer. Not tradition any longer. And that's the sad indictment again about this country. You know the score. if we had, like for example, if we had freedom of speech, I think there'd be more people coming out and mentioning certain things. But we can't, because we could be hauled in and before a court. Is that democracy? Is that freedom of speech? Because you might upset somebody. Excuse me there, sorry. The Red Bird says, yes, I fear for the Palestinians, but Hamas doesn't care about them, using them as human shields is despicable. Point is, though, you know, I'm not being funny, Red Bird, but they're not everywhere. They're not in tents of like families or, you know, even a block of flats. They're not all there. They're scattered about. They're in tunnels, but they still get bombed anyway. These people, the Israelis just say we got told that there was Hamas there, and we went after them. How many people did they kill? Was it 900 or something? When they said, oh, we got word that it was a Hamas leader in somewhere. They said, did you get him? He said, no. Yet they killed 900 civilians or something like that. Any human shields is despicable. Do you think we used them? Illegal immigration equals invasion. That's a good point. That's a good point, though. Redbird. Tia Stalin told J.D. Vance he is proud of the free speech thing. Didn't he get pulled over it? I haven't seen it. I don't like listening to Stalin. It's a big phony. But didn't J.D. Vance say to him, what about your free speech? And he said, we're proud of free speech in the UK. It's just, I think you know, the headlines I was getting off different things was that it was useless. He went over with it. He went over with a letter from King Charles. He wants you to go and have dinner, you know. Yeah. It's your info. Never know their likes. Israel used the Hannibal Directive, but the MSN never mentioned. I wonder why. I wonder why the mainstream never use it or say it, mention anything. I'll just say this without going into detail. I'll just say, who owns the newspapers and all the media? Who owns them? Think about it. IBR to that. Two-tier care is a rotten soul. What about Lammy? Lammy? Good grief, Lammy. Can I turn to football a minute? Hey, just a minute. Do you know I've got, well, I was told I was coming in the summer. Now, I was told this 2 weeks ago. And when I was watching, I watched This Is Anfield, and it's a cracking little programme. And you see the fans, you know, like little kids, little my kids come. And obviously the grown-ups as well, giving it loads. And that's why I like watching it. And what I seen was Curtis Jones and that Anthony Gordon talking on the pitch. You know, they were just talking, the rain coming off. Like, you know, the game was ended, but they were talking. This is, you see it. And the next, you see, this is the Newcastle, this is Anfield. And afterwards, you see, like, the big Verge giving, like, an interview. He's just giving an interview. Comes out, and you see him walking down the corridor. And who's there? Outside, like, the dressing rooms, is Anthony Gordon and Curtis Jones having a laugh. You know, they're really in deep conversation. And I thought, no, I was told he was coming here in the summer. And the Redbird, This Is Anfield is a great watch. Oh, I love it. I just love looking at the fans. And I'm, you know, honest, I'm like, oh, I wish I was there. I was like one of them. Jeff, son, Dad, what is an alcoholic? Dad, do you see those 4 cars? An alcoholic would see 8, son. But Dad, there's only 2. That's a cracker, that. That's funny. I was watching, you know, where you get that YouTube and you see Tommy Cooper. So funny. When he said to, you know, he said, just got a phone call off the wife just before I come up. And he said, oh dear. She said, there's water in the carburetor. He said, oh, where is the car now? She said, in the Thames. Just stupid jokes like that. Just like, in the Thames. Lammy is a racist through and yeah, of course he is. But you can't say that, can you? For some reason. It's yeah. That's me, John Frank. It ends with a joke, mate. Thank you. Yes. Still love you. Hope you still love me, yeah. Yeah, yeah. If Gordon comes in, then Diaz, yeah. I was thinking. And Edward says, at Chelsea, that must have been, says we're the best out of a bad bunch. Top of the European League. So all Europe must be. I always remember when we won the when we beat Real Madrid in Paris, Day Party, there, was there, brilliant. And when we got home, you know, we were elated, and you get some lads saying, "Oh well, Real Madrid, not our lads. Real Madrid were finished already. They were over the hill. They had been for there a couple of years." And I said, "Being in a fucking European Cup final, what's the matter with you? They're over the hill. What's the matter with you people?" They're not given the credit. They're not given the credit. No one gets any credit where it's due. And I'm just not just talking about Liverpool, I'm talking about other things. What if we had women playing in our team? And the Red Curtis was telling Gordon, not long now, lad, before we're a teammate. Most probably, you know. Most probably. He's good, that kid, to be honest. He is. I'd like that Isak as well. Edwards. Oh, we only won the league in the COVID season. Yeah. I remember, no, just like David Owens is an Evertonian, but he's not one of these people, you know. Anyway, I always remember, I know a few Evertonians, and they were, do you know what they were wishing for? The league to be stopped, abandoned, and give up. That's when they had the idea of playing behind closed doors. True that. They would have loved Liverpool not to have won it. And IBR to the Redbird. Gordon is going to cost probably 90 million. That's where the problem lies. The money and the owners. The Redbird says, I've heard rivals say this is the worst Prem that's ever been. It kills them to give us any credit. Yeah. Do you ever remember that Deeney, whatever his name is? Everyone I've seen, I'm there, whatever, you know, pundits I'm talking about, journalists, right? They always say about Mo Salah being world class, and I mean, everyone, even players. And that Deeney, do you remember him? It's a Deeney. And he's not world class. Mo isn't world class. I thought, he was on Match of the Day the other night. He was on Match of the Day. Shocking, man. The Redbird says, maybe who do you think is worth 90 million? I don't think anyone's been at 90. I'm being honest, you know. You asked me that question. But that's the way it's gone. All this inflation. I think if I never paid electricity bills, because I'm all electric, I think I'll be able to afford one of them. Okay, now how much did I pay? 300 and plenty. And then a further 140 in a week. Edwards, Troy Dean, that's him. That's the lad. When he said that Mo Salah isn't. You can't make these things up, can you? You can't make them up. You can't make them. The Redbird says, Edward, good point. Oh. Edward, I wouldn't pay that. Gapco has better numbers than him. Yeah, you're right. And that's the Redbird says. Edward, good point. So listen, lads, have you enjoyed it tonight? Give me a thumbs up if you have. And the IBR, Troy Deeney has been saying that Salah isn't world class again today. And, oh, go away. I don't listen to that. They're such a fucking bunch of hypocrites. And you all got a fucking headlight. Michael Heseltine. Remember him, Tarzan? You've seen it then, please. I'm on a diet, lads, as well. I'm on a diet. And the IBR to the Redbird. The press value Gordon in that bracket as he has only signed a contract in the summer. Liverpool were interested in buying him. Why didn't they fucking buy him? The war chest never always signed Chiesa, didn't he? The Edward. Are you on in the yeah? Yeah, with films to watch and songs to sing. IBR says, Adra Racuna and Mabueno. Mabueno. What do you think they change? What do you think these Anglo-Saxon names? Oh, then they come here. It's easier to say Smith and Jones, isn't it? But as always, Frank, 100% of all those little things. See you and chat next time. Night all, says the big Redbird. Thank you, Redbird. See you, Redbird, he said. Edward. I'll be on. Thank you, Edward. And that's for me. Listen, just a massive, massive thank you for keeping me company tonight. Not only that, but they did get over a few points. Even Jeff Ellis. I don't believe you. I'm glad that, I'm not saying a convert, but Jeff had to know what's going on rather than, what he gets told by others, which is absolutely ridiculous. Franco Heseltine. I tell you what, he saved the Albert Dock, because we were knocking it down. And when he was demoted by Thatcher and he came Minister of Merseyside, he came up and he said, well, what's this? They brought him down there, so destroy it, we're knocking this down, And he said, what for? Do you know the history behind this? And he gave them a full history account of the Albert Dock. He said, don't you dare knock that down. And he got the money in, didn't he? To do it up. And I was going to say, now it stands on a World Heritage site, but that was someone put paid to that fellow by the name of Joe Anderson. And he decided to build Everton. They were saying, no, UNESCO saying, don't build it there, build it further up. And he said, no, it's going there. And when people complained, he said, that's only a piece of paper. It's only a piece of paper. World's edited status. I was at the dock on Monday, says Edward. The canal goes underneath, yeah. Has anybody ever seen a barge on there? I haven't. People do, you know, where I live, and I've been for a walk recently, like, you see the barges, you know, a couple of barges, and they're nice people as well, you know, mostly Yorkshire. Hello, lad, how are you? Oh, I love coming to Liverpool, you know, really grand, nice people, really grand people, nice and warm and friendly people. Thank you. Thank you, says Daryl. We're finishing now, Daryl. Oh, it's been great tonight, mate. We had Nigel Spackman on, you know, talking about the game, you know, Newcastle game. He was chatting to us. He's looking forward to Paris Saint-Germain next week. PSG. He's talking about that. And the Southampton game. No, they were all made up, you know. Nigel, can you come on again? And I said, no, he's not coming on again. Edward, Frank on the winds up. Yeah, right. He's Daryl. Yeah, right. That's just fucking. Anyway, it's just from me. Thank you so much. You lovely people. And I'll see some of you most probably in the morning with the film and TV. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Ci vediamo. A domani. Ciao, bello. Spanish League presidents have filed a law case accusing City of financial corruption. Go away. Go away. Thanks a bit. I'm not that easy, says Daryl. That easy to kid, eh? But anyway, boys, thank you so much. Thank you. Do you know what? I wasn't in so much pain tonight. Yeah. True. I believe you there, Redbird. You wouldn't come out and say that otherwise. See you tomorrow. Good night.